A couple spent a fortune on drink packages, spa treatments, and nightly specialty dinners, then lay awake all 7 nights because their cabin sat under the pool deck, with every morning starting at 6 in the morning with chairs scraping the ceiling. They upgraded everything except the room they lived in. Cruise ships make spending feel easy, but only a handful of buys actually change the trip. Number 1 is decided before you ever board, and it's the one most people get wrong. Your cabin's physical coordinates on the ship dictate your daily quality of life far more than high-priced upgrades. Think of location as the ultimate everyday asset. A standard, lower-cost room in a quiet zone consistently outperforms an expensive suite positioned in a poor setting. Securing a peaceful environment requires a methodical 3-direction check of the ship's official deck plan before booking. You must inspect exactly what lies above, below, and beside your potential room. High-traffic areas generate distinct acoustic hazards. For instance, staying on Deck 9 of the Summit puts you directly beneath the pool deck, where crew members slide heavy metal deck chairs starting at 5:30 a.m. Cabins beneath sports courts suffer the rhythmic thud of activity, while rooms adjacent to galleys, crew elevators, or service doors endure late-night deliveries. Passengers often complain of too much noise when trapped in these zones. Upgrading to a suite does not resolve these structural placement errors. A larger stateroom can still share a wall with a noisy nightclub or sit directly over a service kitchen. To prevent sleepless nights, use the deck plan PDF to confirm that your selected room is completely surrounded by other passenger cabins, which serve as natural acoustic buffers. Verifying these spatial details ensures you get the quiet environment you are paying for, long before you ever step foot on the gangway. The word unlimited does not guarantee economy. To determine if a beverage package actually saves money, you must calculate the math. For example, if a package costs $70 per day and the average drink is $14, you must consistently finish 5 drinks every single day just to break even. This calculation gets harder when you factor in actual vacation habits versus imagined consumption. On port days, when you spend 8 hours exploring land, the package does not cover your off-ship drinks, yet you are still paying the daily rate on board. Most major cruise lines, including Royal Caribbean, also enforce a strict policy. If one adult in a cabin buys the alcohol package, every other adult in that cabin must purchase it too. This rule easily turns a light drinker's daily habits into a massive cabin-wide loss. If you only drink 2 cocktails a day, buying drinks a la carte is significantly cheaper. For non-drinkers, choosing a soda or refreshment package instead of the deluxe option prevents overpaying for alcohol you will never consume. Only purchase the package if your realistic daily count clears the break-even line. If you are sailing through the chilly waters of Alaska, Norway, or Northern Europe, the outdoor pool deck becomes practically unusable. This is where a thermal suite pass changes the daily rhythm of your trip. Unlike a one-off massage, these passes grant access to a dedicated indoor retreat featuring heated stone loungers, dry saunas, steam rooms, and hydrotherapy pools. Some modern ships even add salt or ice rooms. On a Holland America-Alaska cruise, one passenger described their daily 60-minute sessions as amazing for counteracting freezing mornings. Full cruise passes generally run between $250 and $400, while day passes cost $25 to $45. Before buying, check recent reviews to verify the exact ship's capacity limits and layout. Only buy this pass if you commit to daily, repeated use. Automatic crew gratuities will appear on your final bill. For a typical 2026 sailing, these daily charges average between $17 and $20 per person. While prepaying these service charges does not save money up front, it secures absolute budget predictability for families traveling on a fixed limit. Prepayment also locks in the current rate, shielding you from any unexpected price increases before you set sail. Remember, these standard crew gratuities remain entirely separate from the automatic 18% service charges added to spa visits or drink orders, and you can still hand out extra cash tips for exceptional service. Ship-timed coordination is the true asset of a cruise line excursion. While independent tours are 30 to 50% cheaper, they transfer all timing risk to the traveler. If travelers are late, the ship will not wait for anyone who is not on an official excursion, leaving them to fund their own transport to the next port. This risk fluctuates by port structure. In a simple dockside port, a short taxi to a nearby city center is straightforward and safe. But complicated ports change the math. A tender port, which requires transferring to shore on smaller boats, adds 30 to 90 minutes of transit time, and line-run tour groups get priority boarding. A delayed local bus in a tender port like Grand Cayman can easily cause an independent traveler to miss the ship. Booking the cruise line excursion guarantees the ship will wait, or arrange return travel at no cost. For ports where attractions are distant, the time window is short, or transit is complex, the extra cost buys peace of mind. Most lines permit tour cancellations within 24 to 48 hours, letting travelers apply the simple port versus complicated port test to secure their schedule. Connecting to the outside world from the middle of the ocean keeps you in touch, but paying for a premium streaming package is often a waste. Cruise lines split internet access into distinct priced tiers. Messaging plans cost around $5 daily, basic web is $12, social is $19, and streaming reaches $29. These satellite connections average 1 to 3 megabits per second, which fluctuates during peak hours. For a traveler needing to upload a work document, the basic web tier handles the task easily. Meanwhile, a passenger on a short weekend getaway who purchases the streaming package to watch movies often leaves it completely untouched, later calling it an unnecessary expense. Buying only the bandwidth required for urgent family contact or flight updates secures actual peace of mind. Of all the optional add-ons, travel insurance is the least glamorous, but holds the highest stakes. Many travelers rely on the protection plans sold directly by the cruise lines, which typically cost between $25 and $75. However, these packages often carry surprisingly low limits, frequently capping emergency medical coverage at $10,000 and evacuation at $50,000. If you require a medical transfer from a remote port or an emergency airlift at sea, those bills can easily exceed $100,000, leaving you to cover the remaining balance out of pocket. Comparing these against independent policies reveals a massive gap. Private insurers regularly offer up to $1 million in medical coverage and $500,000 for evacuation, often operating as primary insurance so you do not have to exhaust your personal health plan first. When reviewing these options, use a benchmark of at least $500,000 for medical and $250,000 for evacuation as a starting point. Ensure the policy protects your entire travel investment, covering your flights, hotels, transfers, and prepaid excursions, rather than just the cruise fare itself. Examine the deadlines for pre-existing condition waivers, which usually require purchasing the policy within 14 to 21 days of your initial deposit. Taking the time to compare these limits helps you decide exactly how much of your total financial investment is exposed before you leave the dock. Specialty dining works best as a deliberate choice for atmosphere and privacy, rather than a nightly replacement for included meals. Booking a single reservation for a birthday or the final night at sea preserves the premium feel of the experience without overspending. At Cagney's Steakhouse, the $60 cover charge and 20% gratuity bring the total to $72 per guest. To secure a table, book through the cruise portal 60 to 90 days before sailing. Be sure to check the specific reservation terms, as no-shows typically forfeit the entire cover charge. Physical coordinates and deck plans only solve half the stateroom puzzle. The remaining half is matching the cabin to your physical needs and daily habits. If you are prone to seasickness, target a lower midship cabin. Because the ship moves around its center of gravity, midship rooms on lower decks experience the least motion, while extreme bow and stern positions expose you to maximum pitch and sway. For those with mobility limitations, the goal is finding a stateroom near, but not directly beside, the elevator bank. This placement shortens daily walking routes without exposing you to the constant chimes and foot traffic of the elevator lobby. Always verify the ship's official deck plans to confirm ADA-compliant specifications, including wider doorways, roll-in showers, and grab bars. Families requiring close proximity should secure actual connecting rooms with an internal door. Booking systems sometimes display nearby rooms as connecting when they are simply adjacent, so calling the cruise line directly is the safest way to lock in these layouts. If your travel style involves using the cabin strictly for sleep, an interior stateroom offers distinct practical advantages. The lack of windows creates absolute darkness, which promotes better sleep quality at a fraction of the cost of a balcony. Selecting a cabin should rely on a practical matrix of your body, sleep habits, family structure, and budget, rather than the marketing allure of upgraded categories. A successful trip is defined by how well you rest. Waking up refreshed in a room that actively supports your physical well-being is the ultimate test of cruise value. Grab the free cruise checklist below and cruise in control. Today's cruise lines sell the illusion that more spending equals a better voyage. But the greatest luxury at sea cannot be ordered from a menu. It rests in a quiet room and a night of deep sleep. True value always belongs to the intentional traveler.